Hi, first graders. It's Mrs. Holly again, and this is part two of writing your own fiction story. We started with this one last time, where we took Audrey Wood's book, Jabal's Wish, and tore it apart into the elements of a fiction story. And here are the elements. Every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Starts out with a title, which you don't always put first, or don't always think of first. You put it up there first. It has an introduction where you introduce your characters and your setting using juicy descriptive words. And then for your details, you have events that happen in the story. First this happened, then this happened, next this happened, finally this happened at the end, and then you have your conclusion about kind of what the moral of the story was. What did it all mean? That was for the story Jabal's Wish. Let's see if we can plug in these elements into the story that I'm going to create. I'm hoping this will help you plug the elements into the story that you are going to be creating. So we're going to erase everything about Jabal and Audrey Wood, and we're going to start out with what Mrs. Holly was going to create for her story. So when I started thinking about my story, I drew a picture of what my characters would look like and where they would be living. So here it is. I decided that I was going to write about two bears. And these two bears lived in the woods, in the forest, in a cabin. So I've got my cabin in there. And I've got the big brown bear who's kind of gruff. And then I've got the sweet girl bear. She's sweet. And she likes to cook. She's really good at cooking. So that's what I wanted to be about. I made them kind of fuzzy. And I had them wear sweaters. Part of my description. So let's start out and see what I have so far. Don't have a title. I'm going to wait till the end to kind of get what that's all about. Introduction. Who is my story about? Well, it's about these two bears. All right, so I have one bear. One bear is brown and gruff is what I called him. Gruff. Okay, he's fuzzy and he's wearing purple sweater. So some great juicy words so that we know exactly who that person is, or bear in this case. And then I have a second bear, and I'm going to say she because she's wearing a pink sweater. She's in pink, and she's sweet and loves to cook. In fact, I'm going to make her favorite thing to cook, cookies. Loves to make cookies. Because guess who likes cookies? Yeah, I like cookies. So she loves to make cookies. All right, so here are the details of the story. I'm going to say that the she-bear makes cookies. And then the Gruffy Bear decides he needs a walk. So Gruffy Bear goes on a walk. And you want to come with me? Goes on a walk. And he's going to take the she-bear with him. With her. Okay, so the first thing is they're going to go on a walk together in the woods. And I can do all kinds of descriptive things about the woods. They can walk by a pine tree. They could walk by Oh, maybe they see a deer in the woods. I could add that. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna make this one be they see a deer, and then they run into a bird, or they hear a bird, and then next they hear some noise. And it's not nice noise, it's scary noise. Yes, yes, that's what it's going to be. Scary noise. And they are so afraid that they run home. And they think that this noise is following them. They're thinking, oh no, it must be a monster. Guess what I did just then? I used my imagination to come up with a great part of my story. They're running home because they think it's a monster. A monster's following them. It's getting closer and closer, and it's got big footsteps. And they finally get home. They get home, go inside their house, and they turn around and they look, and do you know what was following them? It was Papa Bear. You know what? Let's make it a Grandpapa Bear, because they were big, heavy footsteps, right? So I'm going to make it a Grandpapa Bear was following them. And they're like, why are you following them? Why do you think he was following them? He could smell those cookies that She Bear just made and wanted some cookies. He wanted cookies. And that is the end of my story. But what is my conclusion? The conclusion would be, well, what did it all mean? Sometimes scary noises aren't all that scary. It could be something that you know. So they were happy that Grandpapa Bear had come visit, and they all had a cookie together. See if you can use your imagination like that to come up with a story. And again, if you need some help, go back to your elements to see what elements you have, the characters, the setting, what are the events and the details of them, and then get to the end where you can have your conclusion. Good luck, first graders.